Imagine a Sunday in January 1967. The Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum is half empty. Tickets cost $12. And the game isn't even called the Super Bowl. It's the AFL-NFL World Championship game. On that day, the legendary Green Bay Packers of the established NFL took on the Kansas City Chiefs of the upstart AFL. It was a game born out of a bitter corporate war, a merger agreement between two rival leagues that hated each other. No one knew they were witnessing the birth of a cultural juggernaut. They just thought they were watching a football game. The name, Super Bowl, actually came from Lamar Hunt, the owner of the Chiefs, who saw his daughter playing with a Super Bowl toy and thought the name had a nice ring to it. By the third installment, the name became official, and so did the drama. That was the year Joe Namath, the charismatic quarterback of the New York Jets, guaranteed a victory over the heavily favored Baltimore Colts. When he delivered on that promise, the Super Bowl stopped being just a game and started being a spectacle. It proved that the underdog could win, and that the AFL was an equal power. As the 1970s rolled in, the Super Bowl began to transform into a national holiday. This was the era of the Steel Curtain in Pittsburgh and the no-name defense in Miami. The game was becoming a showcase for the grit and tactical brilliance of the sport. But the spectacle part was still a work in progress. Believe it or not, early halftime shows featured college marching bands and Carol Channing. It was wholesome, it was traditional, and to be honest, it was when most people went to the kitchen to get more snacks. That all changed in the 1980s and 90s. The game moved into the era of the Super Team and the Super Ad. In 1984, Apple aired its 1984 commercial during the Super Bowl to introduce the Macintosh. It only aired once, but it changed the industry forever. Suddenly, the commercials were as much of a draw as the kickoff. Advertisers began spending millions for 30 seconds of airtime, realizing that this was the only time all year the entire country was looking at the same screen at the same time. But the biggest shift in the Super Bowl's DNA happened in 1993. Michael Jackson took the stage for the halftime show. Before that, viewership used to drop during the break. After Michael Jackson's legendary performance, the halftime show became the most coveted stage in music. It transformed from a bathroom break into a high-stakes, big-budget concert that defined the pop in pop culture. From Prince in the Pouring Rain to Beyoncé and U2, the halftime show became a global event that often overshadowed the game itself. The 2000s and 2010s brought us the era of the Patriots dynasty and the rise of Tom Brady. The Super Bowl became a theater for historic comebacks and heart-wrenching upsets. We saw the helmet catch by the Giants, the Seahawks goal line interception, and the Falcons blowing a 25-point lead. The stakes had reached a fever pitch. It wasn't just about a trophy anymore. It was about legacy. Today, the Super Bowl is a multi-billion-dollar economic engine. It's estimated that Americans consume 1.4 billion chicken wings and over 12 million pounds of potato chips on Super Bowl Sunday. The city that hosts the game sees an influx of hundreds of millions of dollars. It has become the modern Roman circus, a blend of peak athleticism, corporate branding, musical performance, and social gathering that has no equal in the Western world. But why does it endure? In a world where we are more divided and distracted than ever, the Super Bowl is one of the last monoculture events. It is the one day where the nostalgia loop meets the live experience. It's where the older generation remembers the heroes of the 70s and 80s while the younger generation watches the stars of TikTok and YouTube in the luxury boxes. It is a shared experience in an era of individual feeds. We've come a long way from a half-empty stadium in Los Angeles. We've gone from marching bands to drones, from $12 tickets to $10,000 seats. The history of the Super Bowl is the history of American media, marketing, and myth-making. It's a story of how a game played with an oblong ball became the center of the American universe for one night a year. As the league looks toward the future, with streaming rights and international expansion, the Super Bowl remains the ultimate anchor. It's a reminder that even in a digital world, we still have a deep, primal need to gather together, eat too much food, and scream at the television as the clock winds down to zero. When you sit down to watch the next big game, are you there for the tactical chess match on the field? Or are you really just waiting for the commercials and the concert to start? Thanks for watching.